We have with us Michelle again, and as you all know that last time our internet connection was interrupted badly, so I really wanted to continue the session with her. The conversation was getting really interesting last week, so we both decided that we should continue. So, hi, welcome back, Michelle. How are you?
Hello, Farah. I'm good. How are you? Thank you for having me
I'm
again.
fine.
And I'm very sorry. I apologize for last time. I do not know what happened with the internet, but it is a pleasure to be back. And I thank you for having me again.
It's completely fine. We completely understand that what happens here. I even mentioned it in my previous session that that every now and then there's a shark attack on internet cables. So yeah, that could be one of the cases that happened. But yes, we're glad that you're here with us again. So we were talking about we were so deep in the conversation that how you went from Islamabad to Karachi, then Karachi to Islamabad, and we were talking about how did you convince yourself to move from the capital to Karachi? And that conversation was interrupted. So let's just get back there. That okay, just you do the talking. Like you know what I'm trying to ask here. So please
Yeah.
tell your story. Mhm.
Acha, so this is a very funny story. I had no plans of moving out of Karachi. I am a diehard Karachiite. I am a complete Karachi is home. Is like yeah is home. Was born here. I was brought up in Saudi Arabia. So I came here just for my A levels. And उसके बाद I decided कि अच्छा further studies कराची में ही continue करनी है. I went on, I gave my admission tests in Zabis, CBM, IBA, and I got acceptances as well. But randomly, ek din I saw TMUC on Facebook, and I was like, why don't I move out of Karachi? मतलब थोड़ा सा exposure चाहिए life में. I need to move out. I need to explore. And I spoke to my parents about it. And Alhamdulillah, my father, more than my mother, is very supportive. My mother is also very supportive in everything, but my father is someone who's like, "Jao, tum karo, jo karna hai, matlab, I'm supporting you, just go ahead." And if it wasn't for my mother, I wouldn't have been able because obviously my mother had to convince my father kisi extent. So my parents have always been very supportive. Spoke to Ma'am Khola, sabse pehli dafa. And Ma'am Khola is also from Saudi. She also lived in Jeddah, if I'm not wrong, as far as I remember. And she spoke to me, and she spoke to me as if I knew her since a very long time. She spoke to my parents. She spoke about everything. Acha, theek hai, rehne ka masla nahi hoga. We'll help her look for hostels. And there was a point where my parents were like, "Nahi, we're very scared. Okay, if she moves to Islamabad, where is she going to live?" And Ma'am Khola was like, "Don't worry, she's my responsibility. We're all here for her." And not only Ma'am Khola came, ma'am, I still remember Ma'am Safia, may Allah bless her. Uh, she said one thing to me. She's like, "Don't worry, you're not alone here. We're your family in Islamabad." And I realized I was home and I was in good hands, and my parents had no issue in letting me move to Islamabad. So I moved to Islamabad only for TMUC and only because of Ma'am Khola. If she had convinced my parents, I wouldn't have been able to move there and study and spend 4 years. And when I came to TMUC, choosing my degree was not at all a problem. Said ke accounting and finance, and I was like accounting and finance, and I went to accounting and finance even in my A levels, but I was never sure कि अच्छा economics करनी है. My father said नहीं accounting and finance as सही है ठीक है. And once I doing it,
Michelle,
enjoying
I think
it.
there's a disturbance again. Like your
So
voice is cracked.
when my last session ended on a note that
Can you hear me, Michelle?
yes, I can hear you.
Okay, I think you're stuck here on my system. Okay, you're moving now. Yeah, it's better.
Okay. So I
Okay.
got so messages. How did you move to Islamabad? How did you settle? Where were the hostels and everything? No, that TMUC does not have hostels, but it is not that TMUC does मतलब चाहे वो आपको you need good place to stay, they're always supportive with everything, even if they do not have the resource in their hand. तो
Yes, that's what TMUC
कभी
does to
भी
you.
ये issue नहीं मुझे
Like,
face हुआ, and when people
mhm.
exactly, so even when I had to move out after 2 years, I was looking for another hostel. I still remember my mom and Imtiaz and my cousin at that time, they were both a part of TMUC, and they both were like, "Tum dhondo, see what we have to do आगे, and don't worry about things." Obviously, taking the responsibility is not easy, and not that TMUC took my responsibility, but they were always supportive with everything that I wanted and anything that I had to do. मेरे लिए it was home. And I never had an issue कि मुझे I'm away from home या I'll have a problem with anything या मुझे job placement कैसे मुझे पढ़ना कैसे है. If I had to sit in the library and study till 4 or 5, I any issue कि अच्छा ठीक है hostel जाऊंगी disturbance. I used to sit in the library and I used to study इतना सुकून से that I never had any. Alhamdulillah, 4 years went by so smoothly, and I think it's only because of TMUC. I don't know if I've been in any other university मुझे इतना ज़्यादा comfort level मिलता या नहीं मिलता. So TMUC, if I just say एक loves TMUC के लिए, it's just home for me. So Islamabad was TMUC and will always be TMUC. Every time I used to visit Islamabad, even if I used to come to Karachi, I knew that I had to go back and meet my teachers. So I always used to, I still, if I come back, I will visit TMUC because TMUC के अलावा Islamabad is nothing for me.
Okay, that's quite interesting, and that's actually sweet as well because you have like a lot of fond memories with Ma'am Paula, and Ma'am Paula will be so happy after watching what you just said right now. And she was really excited when I told her that, Ma'am, I'm doing a live session with Michelle this week. She's like, oh, that's nice. So yeah, that's what Ma'am Paula does to you, and she also played a huge role in my admission as well. She really convinced, and she really told my dad that she's going to be okay. Just send her to TMUC. So yeah, that this is what TMUC does to you. And yes, ma'am, Safia, may her soul rest in peace. She has always been a great support for every
For
student.
sure.
And when we
बिल्कुल.
talk about her, it just occurred to me. This is what I tell everyone whenever I talk about her. Like as head of the institute, as principal, as dean, you interact with a lot of people, and she at that age, she remembered everyone's name. Like right now, where I'm sitting, I cannot remember student's name. I just get confused, and she just knew who was, and she remembered every name, which was something which was huge actually. So she made everyone really special, and she celebrated every student.
बिल्कुल. And it's
Yeah,
not only our admin, even our teachers. As far as I
yeah.
remember, I was not, I when I started my degree, this is an advice for a lot of people as well. Uh, University of London degrees are not easy. We are like, अच्छा सही है, ठीक है, साल के end में papers देने होंगे, हो जाएंगे and everything, but it's not easy. When I moved to Islamabad as well, I also had a huge cultural shock, and being away from home, I wasn't able to settle in very nicely in my first year, and I didn't do pretty well. But I still remember my teachers. They were so focused and itna zyada. They were so supportive. I three teachers in my life: Mr. Bilal Arshad, Mr. Shabir Hussain, and Mr. Sajid. They all three of them came up to me and said, "Okay, it's okay. Let's do it again. Let's try again. And if you do not pass this, it is our responsibility, and we will make you do it." And when I graduated, when I completed my first year, I came out and I had distinctions and merits, and everybody was pretty surprised that your first year did not go so well. तो ये second year में कैसे ये हुआ? And I was like, वो सिर्फ एक teachers का focus होता है. They know that हमें किस student पे किस तरीके से concentrate करना है. And every teacher, whether it is अभी भी सारे के सारे teachers, I've noticed this thing that because हमारी strength day by day, when I started, we had a class of maybe 10 to students. When I graduated, जब मैं first year के students देखती थी ना, 60 to माशाल्लाह माशाल्लाह, the strength was a lot. But yet I noticed that every teacher had their attention set on every student, मतलब अलग अलग. It was not that कि strength अब बढ़ गई है तो students पे attention नहीं देना मुश्किल हो जाता है. Every teacher knew how to concentrate on their student individually. तो ये teachers का भी बहुत बड़ा एक role होता है, and I think TMUC has the best staff and the best teachers as well.
Yes, you're absolutely right. You know, when आपका जब teachers आपके ऊपर focus करते हैं ना, and when they identify the exact problem, the exact part that needs the special focus, that helps you a lot. I think Michelle is stuck again. Yeah, okay, she's back. Okay. So, Michelle, tell me this one thing, like you have work experience from Islamabad and Karachi as well. So, what do you think? How are the work environments
Is
different?
it
Because
okay?
if I talk about my experiences, I once interviewed a person who was interviewing me for a job, and he was from Karachi. The first thing he said to me was, ये तुम Islamabad वाले बहुत unprofessional लोग हो. मैंने कहा, excuse me, that's not right. That was very blunt of him to say to my face. And he was here on as a managing director to one of the companies. So that just stayed with me. Like, so this is one question I ask everyone from Karachi to know the comparison. Like, is it really true? What do you have to say, because you have work experiences from both the cities? And what Karachiites say about, I like, I'm not trying to start a argument or a fight. I just need to know, like, is it true? Why would people say that?
Acha, I have spent quite a lot of time in both places, and unprofessionalism is something that I've not seen anywhere. I have worked in both very big companies. In Islamabad, I was in Deloitte, and in Karachi, I am at Famco Associates. And दोनों के दोनों management consultancies, audit firms, इन firms में at least unprofessionalism का नाम हम नहीं ले सकते. Not a choice being auditors at least कि हम बोलें कि unprofessional हो. Difference हाँ बहुत ज़्यादा है. एक cultural gap है, एक cultural shock लगता है when anybody moves from Karachi to Islamabad या वापस Islamabad से Karachi. Even when I came back, मेरे लिए थोड़ा सा settling down, although I am a Karachiite, मेरे लिए settling down was difficult because I came back to Karachi after 6 years. तो एक थोड़ा सा environment डिफरेंट है, लेकिन आप अगर वर्क वाइज देखें, आई थिंक बोथ एनवायरनमेंट्स आर प्रीटी प्रोफेशनल. एंड ऐसा नहीं है कि कहीं पर भी ड्रॉबैक्स हैं इन रिगार्ड्स टू बीइंग प्रोफेशनल. हाँ, जॉब मार्केट कराची में बहुत बड़ी है, ऑब्वियसली. डिफरेंस ये है, जॉब्स बेटर हैं, ज्यादा हैं. इस्लामाबाद की जॉब मार्केट थोड़ी सी छोटी है. ऑब्वियसली इट इज अ स्मॉल प्लेस, इतनी ज्यादा कंपनीज नहीं है. कराची में हेड ऑफिसेज हैं, मोस्टली कंपनीज के सेटअप्स हैं. तो यस, जॉब मार्केट बहुत बड़ी है कराची में, बट इट इज नॉट दैट कि इस्लामाबाद में किसी भी तरह से कोई भी ड्रॉबैक है. वी हैव ह्यूज कंपनीज लाइक टेलीनॉर, जैज, एयरलिफ्ट, डिलॉयट, बहुत बड़ी बड़ी कंपनीज जिनके सेटअप्स हैं इन इस्लामाबाद टू. And but finding a job in Islamabad is difficult. It is way more difficult than finding a job in Karachi, which is why I also moved to Karachi in the end of the day. लेकिन work environment मुझे different नहीं लगा. I found it pretty professional both ways. थोड़ा सा ये होता है कि कराची में, as I would talk about my own company Famco, मेरे लिए थोड़ा सा adjust करना ज़्यादा easy था, बिकॉज शायद वो कल्चरल गैप नहीं था लोगों के साथ इतना ज्यादा. एंड ऑब्वियसली बात है, फैम को ने सपोर्ट भी किया कंप्लीटली. डिलॉयट वाज एन इंटर्नशिप, तो आई वाज स्टिल अ ट्रेनी देयर. यहाँ पर ऑब्वियसली एक प्रॉपर जॉब है, तो थोड़ा सा वो डिफरेंस है. वहां पर आई वाज वर्किंग अंडर पीपल, ट्रेनिंग हो रही थी मेरी. यहाँ पर भी इनिशियली ऑब्वियसली जब मेरी प्रिपरेशन चल रही थी, आई वाज अंडर ट्रेनिंग, बट इट वाज अ प्रॉपर जॉब. तो ऑब्वियसली एक इंटर्नशिप और जॉब में फिर बहुत एक डिफरेंस आ जाता है. बट नॉट दैट कि आप कोई कंपनी वाइज या प्रोफेशनलिज्म वाइज आप कुछ भी डिफरेंस कह सकते हो. इस्लामाबादीज आर एज प्रोफेशनल एज कराचीइट्स, ऐसा नहीं है कुछ भी.
I think then it's all about the nature of the work, like because auditing and accounting is like for me it's a very serious job. So you can't go all casual and careless in that. So I think that's why he was saying maybe. So yeah, I think when you're educated, when you're groomed, then you're professional, and when you are working with like-minded people, then professionalism is everywhere. So yeah. That makes sense. That's quite right about it. So tell me this one thing, like what would be that one advice you would give to someone who just started studying the same course that you studied, that is accounting and finance?
अच्छा, सबसे पहली एडवाइस, स्टडी फ्रॉम डे वन, एंड
Okay.
पे कुछ भी नहीं छोड़ना, मतलब कीप डूइंग योर वर्क, योर असाइनमेंट्स ऑन टाइम. I used to do that. मैंने पहले साल में किया and it was a huge mistake. मतलब I used to pile up my things till the end of the day. अच्छा ठीक है, सही है, deadlines meet हो जाएंगी, सिर्फ papers ही तो हैं in the end of the year. But it's not that सिर्फ papers हैं. These courses are difficult. They're not easy. And you need to give time to them. अगर आप ये सोचोगे कि एग्जाम से एक महीना पहले आपके papers clear हो जाएंगे, yes, very right, maybe clear हो जाएंगे, but you will not be able to score. एंड इट इज नॉट दैट कि आप बैठकर इन सब्जेक्ट्स में, इवन इफ यू डूइंग सब्जेक्ट्स जैसे आपका बिजनेस मैनेजमेंट हो गया या एनी अदर सब्जेक्ट, इकोनॉमिक्स हो गया, नेवर एवर हैव दैट थिंग इन योर माइंड कि मैं रटे मार के पेपर दे दूंगा. You cannot do that. And it is not a possibility, at least TMUC, अच्छा यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ लंदन की डिग्री के साथ आप ये नहीं कर सकते. It is all conceptual based and you need to know the concept. एक दफा understand the concept and then you'll be able to implement it on any question, any situation. So just start studying from day one and make sure that you put in a lot of efforts, because this degree will take you a long way. Jahan par bhi, wherever you are. I recently attended an ACCA event, and Ma'am Paula attended the morning session, which is why I could not meet her. But I saw Sir Faisal Mushtaq in the evening session, and when I met the head of ACCA and I met many other people, very proud to represent myself as a University of London student. Because I knew that I had that reputation with me, I had that tag with me that I had to carry along. And I was very proud that I knew that I have done this degree and people recognize you because of it. Uh, as I am continuing my ACCA today, I have received exemptions, and that is obviously because of my accounting and finance degree. So don't take it easy. It will take you a long way, and just put in a lot of efforts. That's it.
Okay, so yeah, that is a very good advice. And the thing that you said about not piling up your work, that is very important. This is exactly the same thing I tell everyone who ask for advice for when it comes to fashion and textiles. Because when you pile up your work, in the end of the term, you have like 4 or 5 projects to submit. So how will you meet the deadline? Like, are you a superhuman or what? So it's very wise to just go with the right flow and with the schedules that your teachers are telling you to follow. So yep. And about that ACCA thing, I did. You're also doing ACCA, and
Yes,
you've
I
got
have.
exam.
Yes, I've
So which
got
level
exams.
are you doing right now?
I will be giving my first paper in June, inshallah. I am planning to, but obviously work and study thoda sa balance karna difficult hai. But I have received 8 exemptions and I will
Okay.
be continuing with my tax paper, inshallah, in June.
So are
So
you
I
like
have
directly on the fundamentals or
uh,
foundation?
so I have 6 papers to go, and I will be completing 3 of them, and then आखिरी के 3 रह जाएंगे for as a finalist. So I have got, if you complete 9, then you have basically a bachelor's degree. So I will be giving one more, and then my BSc level of ACCA will be completed, and then I'll be doing the professional papers, inshallah.
So what I'm asking is, you're directly going for the fundamentals, right?
No, one
Or
more is left, and then उसके बाद the professional fundamental papers.
okay, that's interesting. So, guys, everybody who's watching, this is Michelle, who has a degree from University of London in accounting and finance, and she is eager to learn even more, and she is now pursuing her ACCA. Like, am I proud or what? I'm actually impressed, and like, she's so deep into her numbers and accounting and finance, which is quite impressive. Like, I think I mentioned it last week as well. Like, I come from a family of accountants and auditors. My dad was an auditor, but like I don't really associate myself to that attribute of him and my family. Like I'm the odd one out, so it's okay. I feel like it's not for me.
It's
Yeah.
okay,
So
as
okay.
far as you're doing something you're interested in, I think it's
Yes,
good.
exactly. So, Michelle, we're coming towards the end of the session. There's this one last question. This is what I ask everybody I am talking to for on this platform. That is, TMUC in one word.
Home. Like
Home.
my home.
Okay.
It
I
is
think there
home.
was another alumni as well who said the same thing about TMUC. TMUC is home. So yes, that was Adina, our graduate from hospitality management program. She said the same thing. TMUC is home. So that's quite lovely, TMUC making you feel like home. And I am sure that when Ma'am Khola, Ma'am Amna Imtiaz is definitely watching us every week, and when Sir Faisal will see this, he'll be very happy that TMUC is home for his students. So I'm so happy that we finally finished this conversation because last week there was a disturbance, and it was really, really, really nice talking to you again, Michelle. And I really hope that we see you soon at campus. You're always welcome to visit TMUC, be it Karachi, Islamabad, Lahore, and any other campus. TMUC, as you said, is home. Your
Inshallah.
home will always welcome you. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Michelle.
Bye bye.
Take care.
Thank you for having me.
And best of
Thank you.
luck.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Allah Hafiz.
Bye.
Bye bye.